All right, today we get to have the creator of DFKing on. We're super excited about that. I actually use his website a lot in my summoning, and so excited. I know your website's been around for a while, and yeah, we're super excited to hear what you have to say. I'd like to just generally, before we get into your website and what you're building, kind of hear some of your background. How long have you been in crypto? How long have you been in DeFi Kingdoms?
Yeah, that'd be great. First of all, thanks for having me on. Really appreciate your time, and happy to connect with the community best as I can. A little bit about my background. I am an engineer by trade. Started way back in web development and actually the dinosaur language of C++ and Windows development. Let's just say a long time ago, and then from there transitioned at some point maybe 15 years ago into just managing. It's hard to keep up, right? But I do like to stay in touch with coding, taking on personal projects and things like that. And of course with Web3 and blockchain, it's I just found it fascinating. I first got into the crypto space probably the last right before the last crash, right? 2016, 2017. Back
Okay,
then
so
it
you've been
was
in it for a while.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of cursory. Back then it was like, oh, what's this Bitcoin thing? What's this
Yeah.
Ethereum thing? Bought a couple of coins. Back then the market was shooting up like crazy, right? So it's like, oh man, this is easy. And then of course it crashed, right?
Hmm.
I delved into the technical details a little bit back then, but it really wasn't until let's say sometime in what was it 2021? No, 2020. I think it was late 2020. Got back into it again. I think as the market was kind of going back up again. And at that point, DeFi, right, and GameFi started really coming in. And then from there, I was like, hey, let's see what this Web3 stuff is about and how to interact with the blockchain. And that's when I really started really looking into it. And I think when Crypto Kitties, remember that project,
Hmm. Yep.
came out? Yeah, that's when I took this. I was reading into it, learning about how they did the genetics thing, and there was this tutorial called Crypto Zombies, I think it was. That was my first tutorial on it. And then the market kind of was, and then DeFi Kingdoms came out, and I discovered it. I think back in October of no September, October of last
So
year.
pretty the early
But I was
days.
but I
Early
was
days.
kicking myself that I didn't get into it until November.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, I kind of missed out on the really early days. And I was just so fascinated by it. The team has been great. The project had really solid plans. Of course, the artwork, everything just kind of came together nicely, right? And I was like, oh, this is a. I was just so fascinated. I just like let's get into it. Let's learn more about it. How does all this stuff work? And at that time, I think I pinged who was it, Mag, on
Yep.
Discord, right? Who's now I guess known as
Pinecone.
Pinecone. And he's like, hey, there's this dev Discord. Why don't you join it? And then from discovered a whole community of people that's been super helpful. Kind of got me kickstarted with the APIs and things like that. And outborn was DFKing, and I think from concept, kind of me messing around with it right from the beginning. It took maybe about a month to get the website up, and I think it was late December. And it's just
Nice.
kind of gone from there. Yeah.
So I wanna get into how you, because I think as the creator of it, you probably see and have a bigger vision of like how awesome the tool is and how many different use cases there are for it. Me personally, I've used it like religiously in my summoning when searching for summon pairs to find that juicy dominant R1
Hmm.
aligned, which previously, prior to you coming out with that, like the only way I knew how to do it was reach out to one of my friends that knew how to like parse the graph QL, and like that's like foreign language to me, and I don't know how to do that. And so I was kind of just like relying on somebody else to be able to do it, or bot alerts and whatnot. And so this when you did that, I was so stoked. So, but I'm sure like that's just like tip of the iceberg in terms of like the type of data you make available to everyone. So, do you want to just get in a bit to like what your website, kind of what it can and can't do?
Yeah, sure. And I think you know, a lot of the features and the capabilities, it's just from chatting with people, right? People like you or other people that shoot me messages like, hey, this would be cool to have, and then just take the input and put it in, right? So yeah, let's maybe go through some of the search capabilities. So when you land on the homepage, of course, there's a search panel on the very left. There's the basic search stuff here. You guys can see my mouse when I'm moving it, right? So
Yep.
is it, okay, cool. So yeah, you know, basic search parameters, and I think here's probably where the most interesting aspects come in, especially if you're doing summonings and finding the right types of heroes, right? Here's the recessive genes. So you have your dominance, and then R1, R2, and R3, and you know, I think these filters give really ultimate flexibility and power on what kind of hero you're looking for, right? So sort of the example I like to use in my testing is, you know, let me go find all the pure miners, for example, right? You can hit mining for all the recessives like this, and then hit search. I won't touch the other filters for now, but if you just search for this, then hopefully you'll return all the heroes that have pure mining and all the recessives, for example, right? So if you mouse over the little light bulb here, the light bulb, by the way, just designates the dominant and the R1 genes matching. But here, since we've searched for everything mining, it just shows all the miners, right, that have the full,
Yeah.
what do they
So
call,
for
pure
those who,
heroes, I think.
yeah, those who don't know too much about the recessive genes, it's beyond the scope of this call or this meeting, but it is, the recessive genes play a very big role in the how summoning comes out. But essentially, if you had pure mining like we're seeing here, and you summon two pure miners together that had all dominant and recessive mining genes, you would have a 100% chance that they come out with a mining profession.
Should
Whereas if you
we
don't,
do?
there's a lot of, sorry, what was that?
Oh no, go ahead and finish, and then I'll
I was
jump
going to
in.
say, without that, then you have the recessive genes, come into play, and your chances of getting mining, even if the two heroes have mining, but like say they don't have any recessive mining, then that can get diluted through the way that the recessive genes come out.
Yeah, that's right. I was wondering, do you want to go through a quick example with the summoner?
Sure.
We
Yeah,
can
let's do
use
it.
that, right? 222109 and 213004. I'm gonna fix this layout, by the way. 213004. So that example that we use, right? Let's take a look at, when you input, by the way, I kind of went through it fast, but when you enter in the two heroes, it calculates the chances of the resulting traits, essentially. So yeah, just like you talked about, right? Because those two heroes are pure, your chances of getting another hero out of it with the profession of mining is 100%, essentially. But if you mixed it with some other hero, let's just change this to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something like that. Then you can see because of those traits, because of that other hero coming to play with its genes, you have less
So
than
only
100%
50% chance for mining
Yeah.
there. Cool. So this is essentially this is the summoner tab at the top. This essentially is like the equivalent of HeroBot on Discord. I guess there's several that do this, but it essentially just kicks out all the possibilities when you summon two heroes together, what the likelihood of various outcomes will be.
And let's go back to the search again. So I think one thing would want to highlight is the presets here, right? And there's some really basic ones. I've been meaning to go in and create some more, I don't know, better presets to help people find what they need. But I think ever since implemented this thing, I was like, let's let people figure it out themselves, right? And just haven't gotten around to it. But one thing that's kind of cool here is let's select the best miners, right? And here we've kind of tagged. Oh, you know what? This looks like it's broken a little bit. It should have.
So are those your presets?
Yeah, I just created some really basic ones.
Can people make their own presets and have it like saved, or is it
Right. So that's kind of what I'm going to get into here is
okay?
let's just use this, even though it's not the best miners, but let's tag actually that pure miner thing we're talking about, right? And let's see, let's go back and select any class so we can get some search result. So let's say this is a filter that you are very interested in, you want to check it all the time. And normally when you go back to the website, it's going to reset. You got to select all of them again. It's just kind of a pain in the butt, right? So what you can do with the membership when you sign up, it enables this feature where you can save the presets into your profile,
Okay.
essentially. So this filter that we just said, I can hit. Oh, there's another bug here. I can hit I can call it, I don't know, pure miners, let's say, right?
And if you subscribe, is it like linked to your wallet address? Is that how it
Yeah,
works?
that's right. That's right. And actually, that was the part that took me a while to get implemented. And again, a lot of this I'm learning anew, right? So a lot of this is sort of playground work, right? Just to learn blockchain. And that was the part, getting the wallet authentication or Web3 authentication and building the back end to support it and the database and all that stuff. That was all new to me. So it actually took me a while to get in place. But once, now that that's there, you can see the pure miners appear here at the bottom of the list now.
Yeah, I can't see it, the drop down on my end, but
Oh,
you're just
really?
clicking on the
Yeah.
the way the screen share works here. It's so you're hitting the presets and then it has your list that you've saved.
Yeah, that's right. So you can't see any of the drop down at all?
No, not
Okay.
on. Yeah.
So maybe I'll kind of word describe it. So when you hit the drop down, it shows the ones that I created. That's always shows for everybody. And then whatever one that the user adds through this plus sign here will show up here with a star next to it. And then you can create 10 of these and store it in your profile and go back to it at any time, essentially.
Very cool. And so you mentioned that's so you can do all the searches for free. You don't have to
Mhm.
pay to be able to search and query any of this data for tavern data. Is how much is the subscription? Is it a monthly thing? Like how does it work?
Yeah, it's 5 joules for 30 days, which what's today's price? 40 cents. It's like $2.
Oh wow, it's
Right?
like yeah.
Yeah, I think when it came out, and by the way, there's no there's no grander dreams of getting rich off of this site, right? It's the playground, and just kind of want to break even on it. So originally I thought I'd charge around, maybe $5 US. Since jewel prices has dropped, obviously that's not happening, but that's fine. I'll take a bit of a hit on the operational cost. But yeah, it's only $2 at this point, right? I
Yeah.
thought
Wow,
about
that's cheap.
adding, yeah, I thought about adding maybe like a credit card payment type of thing. But again, my goal is really just to learn how to do a lot of this stuff, including payment and detecting payment for a wallet. So I just implemented this part. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I mean, do you have other aspects of the website you want to show? Otherwise, I was curious, what does the member subscription get for you? Is it the presets? Are there other things as well?
Yeah, so presets is one of the big ones, I think. And I didn't show, but the recessive skills filters, when you go into I think the skills part of R1, R2, R3, that's also part of the membership.
Okay, yeah. So you can actually add the recessives for the skills in if you have the paid sub.
That's right. So
Okay.
basically this, I think from active one down here, right? Everything here on the R2s and R3, R1s, R3s, I think they're paid only.
But
Just because it's
the dominant is available, but the recessives are
yeah,
not.
that's
Okay.
right. That's right. And then actually I didn't get a chance to show yet, but then that same filters that we just created, let's say that best miners, if you go into the auctioneer tab, this is where it's a real-time events, um, as people put their heroes on the blockchain for sale. Let's see if it behaves for us today. There we go. Right. These are real-time events coming in. And there's a couple of other sites out there that people have created that do this similar things. But what you could do is that filter there, and we probably won't see anything show up, right? Because it's such a narrow filter. But if I selected the pure miners filter and hit apply, then there's now a new section here for applied filter, and whatever thing you set there would show up here if it popped up, right? If it showed up in the tavern at real time. So obviously, well, most likely we're not going to see a pure miner show up here while we're on this stream.
Right? What is the difference between the auctioneer and just like running a search on the search tab?
Yeah, I mean, this is just a running, it queries.
It's like if you had this just opened up on your screen and like just you're off on your second screen, it will just be constantly updating.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. And there were plans to put in like alerts and filters, email or Discord chat stuff, but just haven't got around to it. And I think there's some other people that do that as well, right? So
yeah, cool.
But yeah, I think the filtering capability is probably what I'd say is probably hopefully the most useful for people. Right? You can do custom.
Yeah, I use it all the time. At least especially on like the main class recessives, and now like I had a friend who just pulled a summon that it was a ninja, and every single the 2 actives and the 2 passive abilities were all advanced abilities.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I know he uses tools like this. I think he's a subscriber to your website as well. So
there we go. So yeah, while we're talking, I just set it up to do, I don't know, what is this? Uncommon and rares, right? So, okay, maybe it's not working. Anyways, got bugs to fix, right? Anyways.
Well, I mean, we're all developing something or building stuff. And so I personally, I've loved using your website. So I really appreciate what you've been building for the community. I mean, I hope that at some point you'll be able to, I just hope you'll be able to, charge more and for this, because I think it's a really helpful service. And yeah, I mean, because I keep thinking back to like trying to query the graph myself and like trying to learn that. And I was just like,
yeah,
you know what, this isn't even worth it anymore. Like I don't understand how this like language works, this like querying language. And so websites like this have just been like a godsend for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, thank you for the compliments. I definitely want to continue. Time has been definitely a premium. I would like to work on it more, and add more features. But yeah, hopefully it's helpful for everybody. I was gonna show one more thing, but maybe they're not behaving right now. But let's give it a try. Sometimes the graph APIs don't behave, right?
Right.
Here we go. Actually, so I'm back on the summoners tab, and I just inputted 2 random heroes. I kind of use these for the testing numbers. And the other part of the membership that it gives, and this is, again, more work in progress, is it'll automatically try to find the best pairing for these 2 heroes. Maybe this is not the best. Oh, actually, it is. Monk and Pirate. So Monk and Pirate gives a chance for Ninjas, right? So I think what this does here is it searches for the tavern for, let me rewind. So the first hero here is a monk, right? So you're looking for a pairing of pirate to get a chance for a ninja. So what this one does is searches for all available pirates that are sort of within the same class. And there's some, I think, logic in there that's very basic right now, that just searches for similar pirates to pair with that monk to get you a ninja. And what you can do here is, if let's say your goal is to find the highest percentage to get a ninja, then you can look at these tables. This one's for sale, and you can sort. You can click on the column to sort by the highest percentage of ninja. So this table's for sale, and then this one's for rent, right? So if you wanted to, let's say, just rent a hero to build a ninja or summon a ninja, then you can use this table here. And currently working on the abilities to take those same filters that we were looking at earlier and then apply it here in the search, right? So you can really customize what you're looking for. So that's hopefully up and coming next if I get some time to work on this.
Yeah, that'll be helpful. That'll be really cool. And so that is the summoner, is not the summoner tab that you need this paid subscription for, but that specific best match.
Yeah,
Or
yeah. The summoners like the basic stuff that we entered here. It's available for everybody to use, but the best match part is the premium membership side. So the thought process with a lot of this, for a lot of the functionality on this site, non premium versus premium, is I think that whatever data is available out there regularly, just make it free for everybody, right? But if there's something unique or extra calculations or whatnot, maybe put it under premium. That's the
yeah,
thought process. Yeah.
I think it's awesome, man. Did you have anything else you wanted to show us about the site?
I think those are the. Oh, actually, no. There's one more thing. If there's time,
Yeah,
so let's use that same. And I get this question quite a bit, actually. So I thought this would be helpful to talk about. So again, using our great buddy 12345. When you look at a hero, there's a section here actually called similar heroes currently selling, and then there's a tab here with currently similar heroes already sold. And what this does, actually, let me explain it first and I'll show another example. But what
sure.
this does is searches for all the heroes in the tavern that are similar to this hero. So you can take a look at the rough pricing of what other people are selling your hero here, right? This is your guy here. It's currently not being sold. So you can take a look at what the relative pricing is on these guys, right? Some guy selling an uncommon, of course, in this case for 250, and the rest of the guys are, in the for the commons, let's say between what is that, 45 to 114. So then it gives
Yeah,
you a chance to see if you wanted to sell your hero, how it would compare in the market. And then if you were to click on the sold tab, there's not much data for this one. There's only one other here that was sold, right? 70 crystals. Um, what it was recently, if there's any similar heroes recently sold, and what the pricing of that is. So this one, there is a cap just because how the APIs work. You can only look back 10,000 heroes. So it doesn't look that far back, but at least gives you a sense of what your hero could be worth if you were to sell it.
yeah. What that's I see so many people like newer members and others that are in Discord, and they're just like, hey, how much is this worth? How much can I sell this
Mhm.
for? And that's cool that you've got both, because there is a big difference between what's recently sold and what people recently sell at, because
Yeah.
sometimes people just list it unrealistic prices that aren't going to sell. And if that's all you're looking at without the actual sales data, like historical sales data, it's sometimes hard to get the right price set depending on how quickly you need to sell something. So that's cool.
Yeah, so this is maybe just one more tool that you can use on top of what's the other common one, the floor pricing, right? For a particular hero, and people probably don't
Is
want to
th-
sell at
is
floor.
this a part of the paid, or is this part of the free
No,
part?
this is free. This is the free part.
Okay,
Yeah.
very cool. Um, awesome, man. Is there any other features you wanted to specifically highlight?
I think mainly, yeah. This page again, it's all free. I mean, if you scroll to the bottom, there's just the sales history. You can take a look at the history of a particular hero. For every time an owner puts a hero up for sale, right? It will plot a graph, and then every time it's sold, we'll plot a graph, essentially, a plot a point in the graph. And what's kind of cool about it is we pull the historical jewel pricing to calculate the USD at the time of posting.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives a sense of the jewel pricing or the token pricing versus the USD pricing.
That's helpful.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's helpful, because it's like, yeah, something was worth a certain amount of jewel 3 months ago, but in terms of a dollar amount,
Hmm.
could have been drastically different.
Right. And, unfortunately, it's painful to see the jewel price back at these price points compared to
Right.
now, right?
Or just seeing like a common hero even being listed for $800 is
Yeah,
when we're at like what?
insane.
Probably like a $15 floor price now for a common hero.
Times certainly have changed.
Yeah, it's a bear market, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
hey, I didn't have any other questions. I'm super excited though to add this along with highlights of some other developer tools that we've been trying to showcase here a little. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
No, thank you for having me. And there's so many talented developers out there with great tools for the community, and just hoping to provide some, extra help for people out there.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Hey, we're super excited to have another community developer join us. Also, another community content creator. We have Raph from DeFi Adventures and DeFi Kingdoms. You might know them by their tagline of streaming from high above the air in the hot air balloon. Did I get that right, Raph?
That's right. Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
I've listened to my fair share of Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms. We unfortunately Neindorf wasn't able to make it.
For sure.
Obviously, another big key member of the Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms team. But I know you guys are working on stuff. I know you have community tools that a lot of people use. There might be some people that don't know about it. And I also know you guys recently submitted a grant proposal. So wanted to hand it over to you. If there's any other background you want to share, but then, maybe take some time and just show us what your work, what you have, what you're building, and yeah,
Sure.
what is available.
Well, first off, I would say thanks for having me on, and I love the content that you guys are creating as well, and the write-ups that you do after every AMA. We're huge fans, so thank you guys for having us on. And
Yeah,
honestly, that's something that we talked about in our grant proposal, which is how do we get out there into the community more? They used to have the Bards program, and ever since that's been shut down, it has been a little difficult for us to navigate the space and make sure that we can help people with the tools that we have available. So I'll start out by who are we? I say a couple of average dudes with above average work ethic. So our team is really just Neindorf, who's our programmer, and myself, Raph, and I'm more of our producer. I do not do any of the behind the scenes programming. I do some of our analytics, but that is a shout out to Neindorf and his skills as a software engineer. So we've been podcasting since December, and we also created the website in December. And it started out as just a tool to help us summon better. We, like everyone else, we're full degen mode into the game and trying to summon all the time, and understanding how your mutations work and what your heroes are and how they pair up. That's something that we've been using. And so here, as you can see on the screen share, this is our website. We actually are going to buy a domain name to make this a little easier to type in, because it's a bit of a pain right now. So we started out with the hero data system where you can type in any hero out there, and you can look at what their underlying stats and capabilities are. And you can pair two heroes up, and you can get their mutation chances. And actually looking at, we use this a lot for advanced ability summoning right now, which is something that Neindorf and I have been working on.
And I know,
go ahead.
I was going to say real quick, I know there's a few out there, a few websites, community websites out there, but this is one of few that gives you the recessives and dominant and recessive details for your active and passive abilities.
Yeah, thank you. It's it's been we really live by it inside DeFi Kingdoms at this point. So all summoning, even buying decisions right now that I make, I'll punch heroes in here and see what I get, or before I sell a hero, I use this as a kind of the initial stages to my price analysis as well.
Awesome.
Yeah. So then the podcast and the website were going really well, and everyone kept commenting on our podcast. When are you going to get to YouTube, and when are you going to create a Discord channel? And we decided, what the heck, we'll go ahead and create a Discord channel. And so we do have our own Discord server, as it's popping up here. ADFK. And one of the things I like to joke about is, early on, someone joined our Discord server and they said, I think I found the deepest level of DeFi Kingdoms nerd. And I took that as an incredible compliment to what we were trying to do here. And that's something that, We have a great community here that likes talking about all things, hero summoning, game speculation, arena, how people are battling there and what their strategies are. So this has been a lot of fun for us to help create, I'll call it a sub community inside the overall DeFi Kingdoms community space. So that's been pretty neat.
Yeah, I've been in your Discord before. There's a lot of smart people in there.
A lot of happening stuff. So something that is more recent that we've built on the website, and I should clarify, we have kind of two layers to our website. We have a free layer, and then we have a paid for content layer. And our general approach and strategy to this is we believe in I call it the democratization of data. And so we want to reveal all of that hidden data and level the playing field between players and make that not a competitive advantage to be super tech savvy and know how to work with the APIs and access the blockchain directly to know what you're doing. We believe in, that information being available to all players out there. And then we have another half of our website, which is a few things that are behind a paywall. And we like to put things into that bucket that are time savings or efficiency gains. And so we have a tavern alert system where you can set it up via email or with Discord now. And you can get alerts every day based on listings in the tavern and what those hero prices are. And so you can set up some criteria where you want to look. You can see here, I was looking for a thick dragoon. And so that has expired. But, I was looking for a dragoon with a minimum health requirement. And I was also looking at vitality, I believe. So, my minimum vitality was 10 on a level 1 dragoon is what I was looking for. And so I was using that to help me, get into the dragoon market and try to buy one that fit exactly what I believe my team needed. And so tools like this we consider to be like time savings or efficiency gains. And, you could scour the tavern market all day long, every day, and you could get exactly the same heroes that you're looking for. But this is meant to, help create time savings in your day. So, you don't have to be on the market 24/7.
I will say, guys, I have used their hero bot, not the hero bot, but I guess, what do you call it? But the bot, your bot in Discord that
bot,
gives you notifications, and it's pretty awesome. Like, because I've been a huge fan of like trying to maximize my advanced class summon chances. So I'm always on the search for like DR1 heroes.
Yeah.
And I created an alert that was, I need to refresh it, but I created an alert that was, let me know anytime there's a DR1, Gen 1, 10 out of 10. I didn't have hardly any other filters. So like I did get a lot of hits, but I mean, it was cool because it's like, sometimes you'll see one get listed and it's like, it's way undervalued, and it also gives you a sense of like, what are people listing these at? And you as you see those notifications come in daily, you're like, okay, that one's way undervalued, and you go snag it up and flip it, or I use them to summon with.
Yeah, right now I'm watching the pure Gen 0 market. That's been something that has been fun for me to monitor. So what is the price of a DR1 Gen 0? And I just kind of I like to keep tabs on that. I think it's also an indicator of health of the game. What are your best Gen 0s going for? And then I'm also looking at what I call advanced. So it's advanced class with at least a single advanced skill. And so this is a level 1 ninja pirate, really secondary class, and profession I don't care about. But I do want to look at 5 out of 5 summons and at least 1 advanced skill. And what I'm trying to do is slowly build up my, stable of heroes that are advanced class that I can eventually, summon together. So I'll be looking at, right now I'm actually focused on paladins and dark knights. But I like to keep the alerts up. They help me, stay on top of what the market rate is right now.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
Super convenient too for people who are busy, because like I've noticed that if without something like this, it's like, well, I'm kind of just subject to whatever's on the market at the time my Gen 0 comes off cooldown. And then I go into a manual search, what's available right now. But every 3 days in between there, like some good deals could hit the market and you miss out on them.
Yeah.
If you're not constantly watching. Cool.
Yeah, I just have to say, your site is the one that I have used the most, and it's helped me match up and find good pairs for Gen 1 1010s extremely efficiently. And I have to sit there and scavenge the tavern for these heroes. So it's been really, really nice to have the bot.
Thanks.
And,
Yeah,
and the tool.
glad you guys are gaining time and efficiency out of it.
Yeah.
And just we have changed over, I should clarify, a relatively recent payment system change. I'll just briefly give us an overview of that. So if you log into the account section, we now have a Joule time calculator. And so we're actually charging in Joule instead of before we were like going through subscriptions in Anchor, and we're kind of starting to disassociate ourselves from Anchor, or at least, not wanting that to be our only payment system. So Neindorf created a really clever, he calls it a parking meter. So you can punch in the number of joules, and we actually have rated this to market value of joules. And so, basically 12 months of access to the paid features, we want to be about the equivalent of $60 USD. And so you would pay the amount of Joule based on the current market rate of Joule. And of course,
at that time. So
we'll honor it for all of the life of what you paid at that one-time payment.
Cool.
So yeah, that's how you jump in. I have
So-
a quick video on how to use that payment system as well.
Cool. Hey, Raph, so I have a question. So you guys have a proposal currently with with DFK, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
So I haven't read through it much, but I wanted to see. So what do you plan on? So say this grant you do get accepted, where do you see this tool going? Like, where could you give us an overview of what you plan on expanding or how you plan on growing it? Do you guys have kind of a roadmap on that?
Yeah, awesome questions. So we kind of split our proposal up after talking with Sunbear, one of the DFK team members. We kind of split our milestones into 4 different buckets. And so we have historical accomplishments milestone. This is something that he actually recommended we look into, that some people are asking for some funds to go towards, their historical development that they've done. And so, we're actually looking for, we tailored that dollar value to be, one of our smaller asks for things that we've already done. But the site does require some upkeep. And so that's why we asked for that. More exciting is the things that the future looking milestones. And so we're looking at market data alerts. And so right now our alert system is only based on heroes and when they're being listed in the tavern. We'd actually like to expand that out to tokens. So you could set an alert based on the price of gold, or based on the price of, let's say mite stones, if that's something that you're interested in buying. And that's going to couple with what we have as our most recent development, which is the market data page. Neindorf went into the lab for like 3 days and popped this bad boy out, which is really awesome. And so if you want to go buy a mite stone, you can see that the market value right now is 25 Joule. The crafting value of a mite stone is actually 14.8 Joule. And so there is an arbitrage opportunity here.
Wow,
and so you could set
that's
alerts.
so cool.
You could set alerts based on, health vials. If they are under the market price, let's go grab those and let's end up, crafting together, ultimately this mite stone that you can go out and sell. Or you could even set the alert based on when you want to sell. And so you could say, tell me when the market value of mite stones is above 25, and that's my sell point. Now it will not go sell for you, but that information is, to arm our player base out there with, helping them, make DeFi Kingdoms be the game that they want to play.
I gotta know, do you have stamina potions on here?
We will have stamina potions on here.
That's it's more so like if I'm like, hey, you know what? I just got a mythic. I want to stand pot this guy and level him up. I'm always like, okay, is it cheaper for me to just go and buy it on the AMM, or is it cheaper to use my materials? Is it cheaper to sell my materials? Like,
yeah, what I've noticed watching stamina potions is it really tracks the price of gold fairly well, and the price of gold and jewel kind of move really one-to-one. You know, I've only seen a few times where they kind of get out of whack, like the release of eggs. All of a sudden the jewel and gold, you know, changed quite a bit. There wasn't so much one-to-one. But right now, as you can see here, you know, crafting and buying a stamina potion, they are by far, I think, we don't have data on this yet, but I think they're one of the most popular items in the marketplace right now.
yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, so expanding our market alerts, we'd also like to add in the Crystal Vale Tavern, because that is on the DFK chain. We have not expanded that out either. So we want to expand our alert feature to that. Next, enhanced hero data app, which is pretty much adding pets to our hero data app. And this would allow us, you know, users to see pets and potentially any hidden information that might be on pets. I'm not trying to drop any alpha there. I generally don't know. We have not pulled that information yet. So I have no idea.
Alpha, guys, alpha drop. You guys heard it here first.
No. And then lastly, this is probably what excites me most about the future of this space, but combat. And so, you know, we've created a few pages that are lightly based around combat. If you've heard us talk on our podcast at all, you know, I believe the future of the game, the engine of the economy will be driven on people spending their money to want to play a fun game, and I see that being combat. Because there always has to be, you know, there has to be a winner and there has to be a loser in these transactions. And I think the only way that you're going to keep people coming back for more and wanting to play is if they're gaining value or enjoying the game. And I think a combat system would be great for that. And so we want to do analytics on duels as we start to prepare analytics for the full-fledged combat system, which I think will be really neat. And so, you know, what we're looking at is, you know, I a silly web page here of, you know, what it could look like eventually with the fully mature combat system, where you pull up a hero card and you say, you know, warriors are in 71% of the teams that placed top 3 in tournaments this last month, has what their top stats are, how they compare to other warriors, or the top 15% of warriors, skill selection. These are all made up. So pay no attention to this. I have zero alpha on this. But, you know, it could give you information on what skills do you want to be equipping on your warriors, or what skills have been successful. And then also like top hero partners. And so you can look at, you know, maybe warriors pair really well with priests. And so that would give you information about what it is we hope to develop is a metagame around what's a successful combat strategy. And then I can't wait to start talking about what are the counter strategies to those combat strategies. And so that's what, as you can see, probably from the passion in my voice, you know, combat excites us. And I can't wait for the full-fledged combat system to be out. We'd like to start preparing for that with our ask.
That's cool, man. The meta is always a hard thing to, like, without access to the data. You know, every game I've played where I'm like, okay, what's the meta? What's the meta build? How do you counter the meta? You've got to just rely on other people. And
yeah.
And I think with a game like this, where so much of the data is on the blockchain, it's hard for the average user to get that. So I think this would be huge.
Well,
yeah, I like it, man. I think it looks really good. The combat is especially intriguing. Like, you guys are preempting even combat with the tool to analyze it. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and we didn't quite put it in here either, but you know, my dream for the game is I'd actually love for this to become like an esport. And I think this is where, you know, our worlds being content creators and developers collide. Is we'd love to actually sportscast for this if combat became almost like an esports style tournament, where, you know, videos of people having combat were streamed live. I don't know. I've spent countless hours of my life, probably an embarrassingly large number, you know, watching things like League of Legends or, you know, StarCraft tournaments. It's a lot of fun for me. That's the, you know, the competitive nature that I have. My brain's always thinking about what can I do next? You know, how do I win in a combat situation. That, you know, I've of course never had the skills to actually be on a top team or anything like that. So I'd like to talk about it instead.
Nah, that's cool. We Baby Punch and I are both, you know, we love watching streams and games. It one teaches you a lot about the game. It's also just fun. It's a fun pastime. I know Baby Punch watches a lot of the competitive Dota scene. I don't as much on that, but my wife is always like, I just don't understand. Like, why would you watch a game when you could just play the game?
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to explain. But
and I think, you know, we started out before we hit record, you know, we were like, oh, Jules at 42 cents. And I think the way that this game becomes sustainable is having a fun combat environment like that, where people want to log in to watch videos. They want to see who's winning the tournaments. And they want an analysis on, you know, the tier list of top heroes that you're bringing to a tournament, things like that. I think that's what's going to get the community really engaged in the future and will eventually carry the token forward.
Agreed. Well, hey man, I don't know if you had anything else, Baby Punch. I don't know if you had any more questions, but I've been a huge fan of your website. I use it a lot, and you know, I love to see you guys continue building.
Yeah, no more questions, but yeah, just huge shout out. You guys have done awesome. Podcast has been great. The Discord's awesome. Your guys' tool here in the website is fantastic. So people like you pumping out content and useful tools is what's bringing a ton of value to DFK. So keep up the good work. You guys are doing fantastic.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you having me on.
Okay, thanks. Tell Neindorf we said hi.
Will do.
Thanks, Raph.
All right, see ya. Hey everybody, super excited to have another community developer on, hear about the tools that he is helping to build for the community. This time we get to have the creator of DFKAnalytics on. We'll be sharing the screen here in a little bit and some of the cool things you can do with it. First though, wanted to welcome Weghuz to the stream and give him an opportunity to talk about himself a little bit to the extent he wants to, and also kind of hear, you know, what is your background in crypto? What is your background in DeFi Kingdoms? When did you find out about it? So welcome, Weghuz. Go ahead. I'll turn it over to you for a second.
Well, thank you. So I'm Weghuz. I found out about it through a YouTuber, actually. What's his name now again? It was such a long time since I watched any of the YouTubers. God.
Was it High Indian, Crypto with Tosh?
No, it was a big one that's not like super native to the community. It's what's his name again? Hasn't been in the community that much. God.
That's all good. So you found out about it from a YouTuber. When was this? When did you find out about DeFi Kingdoms? How long have you been in the game?
So it was last year in October, I think. Found out about it. I was a bit hesitant at first, so I didn't buy into it. And the YouTuber I was watching at the time got another video out, and eventually I actually went to the site, and I thought it looked pretty cool. I liked the concept, so I bought some Jewel and put it in the gardens. So at the time we were at, I think, $5.5 a pop for the Jewel. And
glory days, man. What we'd all do for $5.50 now.
So after a week or so, with the gardens, I started also reading into the docs and like asking people about heroes in the Discord. Eventually came into that and found out that you had to be on the beta site to see all the cool stuff. And I bought one 10 out of 10 Gen 1 Monk. So it wasn't uncommon, and it cost me 135 jewels. I took out like most of my gardens. I think it was like 80 jewels or something. And for 80% of the gardens, I bought the monk. And I rented heroes to start summoning. So I sold the summon I got the first Gen 2 common for, like, the heroes skyrocketed days after I bought my first Gen 1 hero. Because this was when they released the, I think it was when the Tears quest released, like
Wishing
exactly
Well.
then.
Yeah, that was wild. Wishing Well came out and it was just like, it was nuts. Like heroes, common heroes went up to like 200 jewel almost.
Yeah, my first hero I sold from the summon, it was a common Gen 2. It sold for 210 jewel.
Yeah.
And I bought the parent for 135 like days before.
That's
So
crazy.
that was a good one. I've been pretty much summoning since, and I haven't like went back into the gardens. I took out more and more of the gardens to keep summoning, and I pretty much invested all my other positions also. Like I was in Phantom, AVAX, I was in Wonderland at the time, sold that like a couple thousand to 9,000, I think, around there. So got out of Wonderland in time, put that
I was
into
gonna say,
DeFi
Grad, I hope you
Kingdoms.
got out in time on that one.
Oh yeah, it was actually before all the drama even surfaced, so it was a good time. So
Good.
DeFi Kingdom saved me from that, but you know.
But then you rode, but then maybe you rode DeFi Kingdoms from the top down to the bottom.
Oh
like
yeah, I'm still fully invested. I got my first gens here actually like a month and a half ago, so I've been steadily growing my jewel amount. I don't actually look at the dollar amount much. I think I've taken out money once. It was after the Crystal Veil release at $10. I took out 400 jewel, I think. So that was a good call.
Very good call. Wish we all would have taken out more, I'm sure.
I am.
Okay, so
yeah, that's how I got into it.
Awesome. You've been summoning. You've now since a month and a half ago been able to get your own Gen 0. I know there's several other people I've been in close contact with since the very early days, and they've also been able, with the dip in price of Jewel, been able to finally get their first Gen 0. So that's awesome, especially for those who really believe in the project and think that this is, the price is really the result of a super bearish macroeconomic environment, and that when things recover, they're going to come out with their Gen 0s, and who knows? I mean, maybe Gen 0s go back up to what they were, but
yeah,
that's awesome.
I'm super pumped about the game still, and like I follow everything super closely, and I developed the DFKAnalytics for the game as well, parallel, and learn things every day. So I'm still feeling as good about it, even though the price dropped. So I'm just into the fundamentals.
So speaking of DFKAnalytics, let's take a look at it. So I'm going to share my screen here.
All right.
Looks like you got a little bit of a facelift. This looks different than when I saw it, I don't know, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, the V1 site is still on the .com URL. I'm going to switch them out in the coming weeks. And after I switched out this version to the main URL, I'm going to also apply for a grant.
Awesome.
After that.
That's great.
And it might not be by myself. We'll see.
So through the Kingdom build program?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. So this is searching. Tell me, I'm right here. I'm on the Heroes tab. What I have here, is this every?
Oh, this is every hero in the tavern. Oh no.
Yeah. Did I think I had this filtered to a certain address.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is every hero that's listed on the tavern. This isn't a catalog of every hero in the game. It's every hero that's listed.
I mean, you can just, if you go, there's at the top left, you can find heroes, and that's the catalog. Or you can hire, that's rentals. So you can search whatever you want.
So I go for hires. Okay, so we've got it's a robust tavern query tool. I see.
Yeah, hopefully it is. I've gotten into the GraphQL quite hard.
Oh yeah, and you know what? Sorry, this is a little tangent. I do want to mention, you and I had spoken back in like February, wasn't it, when you wrote that article, the Medium article?
Oh yeah, that was a while ago now.
Which was, it was awesome, and it let me recap it again just for those that, and I'll probably link it here in the video description. But wasn't essentially your theory like, hey guys, if you really want to see how good a hero is, like especially because there's a lot of RNG that happens to a hero, not just at the time of summoning, but also every single time you level up, because you could have a level 5 common hero, for example, that has hit like 13, 14 stats every time they leveled up. Whereas if you're like me and you have a mythic hero or a legendary hero that gets like 5 stats every time you you level up, it's you have to ask yourself the question like, okay, this level 5 mythic versus level 5 common. And yes, the mythic over the course of 100 levels statistically will be better, but RNG is RNG. And so wasn't the whole point of the article, like you have to take out like, take out the base stats, take out some of these other elements, and like start to take a look at like how well has this hero progressed, for example, every time they've leveled up, because that RNG has a huge impact on that hero stats, for example.
Yeah, exactly. It's also relative to the main class's growth, so it's not the subclass. If you hover the class score on the site now, you also get a breakdown on each and every one where the points come from now, and gotten into it a bit more so that it's easier for people to grasp and understand it, hopefully.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the buy here. So if I look at yeah, go ahead, sorry.
So I made the article and you you helped me a bit, Mr. Zipper and I think Naus and some others. And I basically stated at the end of the article that it's nice to have this class score thing, but if there's no way to easily get the class score of heroes, it's never going to be used because no one's actually going to keep an Excel sheet for counting that anyway. So I just felt like I had to make the site to get the stat out there, basically. And the whole point of the stat or the class score is that it's a very fast way to see like a summary of the hero stats. So you can see it in the list and immediately see that this hero has more stats that aligns with its class than the other one because it has a higher class score.
So would I'm looking at this breakdown. It says like for this monk, it's a level 6 monk. It's telling me, I guess the breakdown of each of the 8 stats relative to its main class. So what would a 0 indicate? A score of 0 on a specific stat would be like you're hitting the statistical average for that class?
For the main class, so the subclass isn't reduced. It's kind of wonky to explain, but if you click the hero, you go to the details and you can see the growth as well and just class score. But and the plus next to the stat is how much it's gained. And for the class score, that's what I'm using. So it's plus 13 strength.
Mm-hmm.
Because the base is removed. 13 is what goes into the equation, and then it also removes like the base amount each level. That's the growth of the main class, the base growth. So it's not like the blue stat and stuff. That's
okay. So it takes out things like blue stat, the stats you start with, which in this case he started with 8 strength plus 2 because of the buff, the green buff, right? So so how do you tell how that compares to like the average monk and how much they should be leveling up strength? Like, what's the score that tells me how that compares?
this is a level 6 uncommon. So class score is a snapshot of the stats they currently have. So to get a good like estimation of how good it is for its level, I'd compare it to the same class at the same level. So just look at level 6 uncommon monks pretty much and see if it's above or below average for that rarity and that class. If it's way above average, it might be like it's been well leveled or got above average stats, or it hit the high growth stats each level. So that's kind of the point of the score, to show if it hit the good ones or how much it's actually gained per level, I think.
So again, and then so this 11.97 is it's measuring this monk's stats against other level 6 monks or against just all monks. Sorry,
I mean,
if I
it's
missed that.
it's multiplying by the base growth. So monks have 0.6 strength, 0.6 dex, 0.6 agility, right?
This is this it right here? These are the growth stat, like the average.
Yeah, but not the 0.2 on the agility, because that's the blue stat, right? So the base
okay.
base, and you multiply each stat, and then you summarize it. I mean, I think on the V1 site, I actually have the breakdown of the functions to get the score. It's kind of complicated, so it's hard to explain like this. It's easier to explain the point of it, I think.
Yeah. Go ahead. And that's all I think. That's.
So it's how well the monk is leveled relative to other monks at the same level, basically.
Okay, so if I look at this, if I hover over this, it says 11.97. So it's saying strength. This guy's strength is above other level 6 months. The average of other level 6 months, or sorry, level 6 monks. Is that right?
Yeah, it's
it's
probably gained a lot more than the average monk.
And its dexterity is below what the.
Yeah, that's even below the base growth for the main class only.
So okay, I guess that's one thing I wanted to clarify. So it's not comparing this monk to all level 6 monks right now currently in existence.
No.
It's saying what would a level 6 monk based off of these average rates be at, and how does this compare to that?
Yeah, but only the base rates. So it's not actually the growth score that uses the growth of the hero, like blue stat and subclass. Also the rarity. So that's also another one I made. And that's even, I don't know if it's more complex, but I find it more useful because it shows
score.
Potential per level. It's
okay.
like class
what would
score,
a 1 point?
future.
What would a 0 indicate? A 0 growth score indicate then?
Well, it can't go to 0.
Okay. I mean,
So
maybe it's
growth score is how
I
much it, like.
So the higher the growth score is, that indicates that it has leveled up. It has had better level ups than the average.
No, growth score is looking at future level ups. So it's everything that hasn't happened yet.
Okay, got it. Sorry, I totally missed that.
And class score is the current stats, but multiplied by the base growth score to just show how, like, relatively well the class uses the stat. It's not actually measuring the growth. That is growth score, or what growth score is for.
Okay, so I wanna just like mess around here. So if I go to mythics, I'm gonna go to level 10. I'm actually just gonna refresh this here. So if I do mythics, level 10. Oh, there's not.
It filled in the rest of the search you had before. But this is only in the tavern, right?
Right, this is only listed heroes. And, you know, why don't I go to level 5? So if I'm comparing, like say you're shopping on the tavern and you're trying to compare class and growth scores. So generally speaking, if I look at these two thieves, right? One's listed for 246, one's listed for 250. Well, I guess we should just limit it to the same level. That would be probably a better example.
I think it's interesting to look at Naus. He's often in hero discussion. He usually buys heroes solely from the class score, and that's like their relative strengths right now. And I usually buy on growth score more and the potential of future level ups.
And what is impacting, like what are the main things that impact the potential future level ups?
So the growth score is it's accounting for the subclass, the rarity. It takes into account stones and everything that would impact how many stats it would gain per level, but it's not. It removes the base main class growth because all thieves have the same main class growth, right?
Yeah.
So it's not interesting for the
So it's the
measurement.
bonus things like
Yeah.
a synergistic subclass, enhancement stones, and does it remove like blue stat?
No, that it takes
takes
blue
that-
stat into account. That can be quite impactful, actually.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think sorry. I'm like, it's taking me a second to get there. I think I got it now. So I'm gonna say, I'm curious here. If I went to,
Are you searching for level 0 now?
yeah,
Haven't-
is it even a thing?
It's not. I just forgot to make that level 1.
So like, if I were like looking at this and be like, you know what, I want to go and get a hero, and I want to stampot this guy up to level 10. But I want to be the one to like, I'm gonna level it up, starting at level 1. I'd be looking to find similarly priced heroes, but one that has a higher growth score, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And
It,
if
it
I were,
also it has a set multiplier for what's it called, class ranks. So advanced heroes have a higher growth score than basic ones.
right? Okay. This is cool. This is, guys, this is so. And then if I wanted to go and look at level 10 heroes, let's see. I'll just refresh this. If I wanted to look at level 10 heroes on the tavern, oh, did I leave? No, there we go.
I know this isn't level. It still includes an old search. It's a bug.
Oh, do I need to clear filters? Is that the way to do it?
You could do that, but that's the base search going into the results. You can just press search again, and it should only take the new one.
Okay.
So do you want to see all heroes, or?
Yeah, I just want to see all heroes that are level 10
It's
that
the
are
top
listed.
left. Instead of buy, there's a find, and that's all heroes.
Okay. Here we go. So if I'm looking here at like level, actually, no, I do want to do buy. Let's go level 7. There's not very many level 10 heroes for sale.
Yeah.
All right, so if I look at just this knight and this thief, and I'm looking at, they're both level 7. So one has a class score of 14, or heck, let's even compare this archer. So this archer has, they're one jewel price different. The knight's 78, the archer's 79, but the knight has a class score of 14.78, and the archer has a class score of 7.44. Does that mean that the archer has just had like pretty bad level ups?
Yeah, probably also less stats. So I think it's gotten a few bad level ups, and the knight might have gotten a few good ones.
Yeah. Okay, that's what yeah. So like the archer has had pretty bad RNG when it levels up, probably very few stats, whereas the knight with this higher class score indicates is that they've had good level ups.
Yeah, if you press columns to the far left.
Oh, whoops.
In the table, there's one. If you search for stat, I think it's total stats or something. There's a search bar at the top there. Column title.
Stat?
Oh, tot stat, I think. Oh no, stat gain might actually be more interesting, but you can have both. So tot stat includes base stats, but stat gain should be it's all stats gained excluding base. So yeah, the knight has 9 stats gained more than the archer.
Okay, that's cool. I like that. That's cool. So if you wanna see like, hey, is this guy leveled up very well? You can tell. Because these things aren't just, this data isn't really available on the tavern when you're looking at it. So
yeah,
like this warrior's gotten 51 stats over 7 levels, and you know this warrior right here has had 39, and they're the same price. So
yeah,
that's not evident unless you're going through every single card by yourself and like manually adding it up. So this is really
Yeah,
cool.
you can also see the skills in the list style setting. So it's really hard in the tavern. You can't see skills. You have to look at the stats individually. You might see a green stat, but that doesn't actually show that much.
There's just so much data under the card that's hard to see.
Yeah.
So guys, yeah, class score, growth score, these are not talked about a ton unless you're like really into the game, but these are important, especially if you're going to buy a leveled up hero, because just going and saying like, oh, I'm gonna go buy a level 7 hero because it's somebody spent all that time grinding that out. Well, this is super important because if somebody has spent all that time grinding it out, and you've got 2 warriors right here. I'm looking at this warrior for 85 and then this warrior for 85, but there's a 12 stat difference. I mean, 12 stats, that's essentially 2 level 5 mythic bonuses of extra stats just because
Yeah.
the second one had better RNG when it leveled up.
Yeah, just buying a leveled up hero, you can just buy heroes that are actually, or that have stats that as if they were 2 levels less, just because of bad RNG. And you don't want to be buying those heroes that's actually leveled up and didn't get much from it.
Yeah.
And you can also see from the class score, like if they put stats in bad stats, they get less class score because I multiply by the stat growth. So if you put intelligence on a knight, it will get less class score than if you put it on strength or vitality. So that's also in the score.
So, okay, cool. So stat gain is one story, but class score tells you like even further because it's not just the number of stats, because there could be a world where somebody had a warrior and they're leveling up a bunch of, say they had them gardening because they're a garden profession and they were doing, or this guy's fishing. They could have done like a ton of agility and luck, and those would get lower class score bonuses for a warrior, right?
Yeah.
Than if they
But
did
it's still,
strength and endurance or vitality.
yeah, it's still speculative though, because it's not apparent that will actually be the case, that the growth scores will be how useful relative to the other stats the stats will be. It might be entirely opposite. Every hero has a pretty low luck growth, and it might actually be more useful than the growths right now show. So there's a lot
Definitely.
to consider still, even though it's a decent measurement, I think, for now. That's on what we've got to go on.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. There's a ton of speculation, but assuming they haven't changed their cores, Hubert has said though, like their highest stat growths, or their stats with the highest growth rate, are generally going to be the ones that are best for them in combat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very cool. All right, that was heroes. Is there anything? I mean, pets. So it's the same. We've got a whole filtering system here. There's a lot less stats to filter here, right?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I'm expanding on it. I'm also, if you click the pet for the future, it's not there right now, but hopefully I'll render the pet in the view as well, so that you can see what pet it is, or like get a visual on it. And you can filter for like 3-star foraging and stuff like that now, but that you can't do in game yet. You can filter for only blue egg pets and stuff like that. So it's
one
a
thing
lot
I've
more
noticed
in-depth
is like,
than in game.
one thing I've noticed with pets is like you could have a rare that has a 3-star bonus, and then a legendary mythic that has a 3-star bonus, or sometimes even a worse bonus. So like, there's probably opportunities here to use this to see which rare, like, because there could be really valuable uncommons and rares that have higher than the average bonuses and stars for an uncommon and rare, and then there could be legendaries and mythics that have like way below the average. Because I pulled a rare one time that was just, it was garbage. It was like I had uncommons that were better than that one. So
yeah, Yeah, that happens.
This is cool. Super helpful resource. I'll be honest, I hadn't used this as much. And I know that we talked about this concept of class and growth scores a bit when you wrote your article, but having you walk me through this was really helpful because this is really, guys, this is really important stuff if you're like buying a used hero. I say used in the sense of like you're not summoning your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that
I'm
this,
using it a lot myself too, so hopefully it is useful for others as well.
as more and more people find out about this, like this is going to be, I think some form of this, whether it's a derivation of this or something, is going to be the a derivative of this is going to be a huge like analytical tool as people, especially as we get, this is only going to become more and more amplified as we hit levels like 20, 30, 40, 50. Like the impact of RNG over 50 heroes is going to cause drastic differences between a level 50, two level 50 heroes could have drastically different stats because of RNG. And without something like this to help measure like, well, how did that compare to like what it should have been? This is it'll be very hard for people to tell. So very cool, man. Wallet here. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. What was that?
I'm just saying I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, love it. I think everybody needs to understand how that works. And I think, you know, people are like, oh, I mean, like a lot of heroes are level 5, very few are level 10. As the game progresses, as we get things that give more and more XP and it's easier to level up and we get these higher levels, these will become more evident. And the need to know this type of data will become very important. Wallet here, this is what? Just you connect your wallet and you can see your current heroes, right?
You can see your heroes, you can filter and get just subsection of them, only the legendary up ones, and same filters pretty much as in the heroes page. I've had requests from I think Dunkirk to filter heroes for a long time in the wallet, or several wallets. You can also see sold heroes. That's something that's not easily found in the game. Hopefully I'll get some more useful queries in. If you go to wallet, there's a sold heroes page for that. So you can see all the heroes that you have ever sold.
Okay, cool.
There's
nice.
also
This guy, I pulled this guy last week, this mythic summoner, and I sold him so I could fuel the rest of my summons. So this is cool. I wanted to check here. I wanted to check here. Just some level ups on this. How well certain ones have leveled up.
Oh, those are some high class scores.
So this is my archer, and this guy is like, I love this guy. He's a perilous journey survivor, and he has 31 strength and 38 dex. I think he is one of few heroes that has that many. I'm actually gonna find all heroes. Can I do a stat? Search it by a stat that has.
Not yet. Hopefully you can in the future, but that's
Okay.
not something I've gone in yet. But I think if you want to see high class scores, just mythics like level 5 and up or something.
I was gonna look real quick. How many heroes have over 38 decks? Anyways, I just like love that guy. So I wanted to see, now that I understand these class heroes and whatnot better, I wanted to, or class scores, kind of want to see how some of these lined up.
You could add the agility column, and there's if you hover over the column, there's the triple dot, and there's the in-table filter. If you press the triple dot, there are filters on the table as well.
Catalog.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do that actually. Let's add decks. Oh, whoops! Did not mean to do that. Oh shoot.
Oh yeah, I don't have a good good
All right,
way
if I refresh
to.
this, will it go back?
It won't.
Oh
That's
no. All
something
right,
I'm working on right
we'll go
now.
cost
Presets for
ID,
columns.
rarity, class, and dex for now. And this is, I want to do find, and I want to see the highest dex heroes. All right, so it looks like 39 is the high water mark right now.
It might be.
Okay, there's my boy.
There are a lot of heroes. This is.
So
just like the
yeah,
beginning.
maybe it's index as it continues to pull. Okay, cool. Dang, I'm gonna have to refix all my my columns now. Anyways, hey man, I really appreciate your time. I know we got a little bit bogged down there because of my confusion with like the class and growth scores, but
I know it's
I
all
think
good.
I think that that's one thing that really sets your tool apart. It's a really unique metric to be measuring like the value of a hero, and I hope that more and more people start to understand that. And I think what that presents as an opportunity for people who are playing the game and buying and summoning heroes and leveling them up is because most people, and this is not financial advice, obviously, most people probably aren't as deep into the weeds to understand that. It creates an opportunity for people who be like, yeah, yikes, my guy has not leveled up very well, but people don't understand that. And so you could sell that for the floor price. And then it gives you the opportunity to go and buy heroes that are listed at around that floor price, but who have just leveled up way better than other heroes. And that's
Definitely.
that's a huge benefit. Knowledge is power here. So
I also
very cool.
sold a bunch of PJ commons just to keep summoning and hopefully land some more like high rarity and higher tier heroes. Because the PJ commons, they'll fall out of favor, I think, because the stats are just instant bonus, right? But
Yeah,
later on, that's not nearly as impactful when everyone's level 20, 30.
20, 30 levels up. Yeah. Cool. Well, hey man, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
I have a Discord channel. If someone wants to join it, if you press DFKAnalytics, set it up. It's on the front page there. This is going to be on the. Oh yeah, that's also on the footer.
There it is.
Yeah, it's going to be on the main .com address.
Awesome. I'll
I
include
don't
a
know
link
how
to
long,
it
but
too. I'll include a link to that as in the video description.
I appreciate that.
Well, hey man, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Love to see super smart people like yourself helping the community out. And I think, this whole concept of like how well this class score, growth score is such a cool concept. And we're going to see it become more and more prominent and more important as people level up and start to see like how drastically different two heroes can be valued just because of how that RNG that takes place when you level up.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and it's huge thanks to you for making all the early content that also got me into DFK. I read so many of your Medium articles and
Good man.
AMA
Good.
write-ups and
I'm
everything.
glad it helped, and glad to see like other people jumping on and helping create some of that more content as this game is developed more. So chapeau to you as well. Have a great rest of your weekend, man, and we'll talk soon.
You too, man. Thanks for having me.